Now your preferences tab in ServiceReef, it has a lot of information in here that's extremely important. And thankfully, you're not going to be spending a lot of time in here, but let's walk through all the different pieces and tools that you're going to be able to find. So the first one is going to ask you your organization's time zone. So you're going to be able to set a default time zone for your organization. And following that, you can set a default tab for the member modal. So most organizations are going to have trips as the default, but you can set whichever tab you want as your default. You can have a checkout phone number. Choose whether or not you want to have a request for phone number when someone makes a donation. You can keep this hidden, optional, or required. And then moving in specifically to short-term trips, you can choose whether or not you want your trips to default to your organization or yours and your partners. So most organizations will do just to their organization. Now, where that fits in, and we get asked this question a lot, well, what's a partnership mean and where does that work? That really is for, say, a local church that's trying to aggregate a bunch of short-term or volunteer opportunities locally, or a school that's trying to aggregate and collect local serving opportunities for students. So then you get into all the different fundraising details and preferences. So do you want to hide the donor name from the event admin? So that some organizations will want to keep that hidden and secure. It's up to you if you'd like to show that or not. Do you want to hide individual donation amounts? So sometimes organizations say, I want my participants to see who's given them money, but I don't want them to see how much they've actually, each person's actually given to them. Do you want to hide the fundraising progress bar? And that's when we talk about the idea of over fundraising. Do you want to let people raise 150% of their funds and then hope that you're going to be able to take those funds and be able to distribute them to other people on the team? The next one is organizations will absorb credit card processing fees. So with Stripe and how the system works with Stripe and PushPay, there is a standard credit card processing fee. And that processing fee is going to be deducted from the amount that's going to be given to an individual on a trip. Now, so let's spend a second to talk about this. An individual, let's say I give $100 to Joe. Joe is going to see a $97 donation that's posted to his account. So if I select this, then Joe is going to see a $100 donation to his account, but somewhere that fee has to be absorbed and taken care of. So what happens in this case is what we recommend is if you know that your trip is going to be $2,000 for each person to go, then set your fee at $2,100 or $2,200. Figure out what that expense is going to be for processing, credit card processing fees, and then just raise the fee of the trip to be raised. Somehow those fees have to get covered, and those aren't on ServiceReef. That is on the credit card processing company, and really that comes down to you. Do you want to absorb those or do you not? Do you want to treat an application fee as a donation? If you select yes on that, then that adds that, say, $100 application fee. It's going to add it to the donation list for what a person makes if I apply for a trip, I pay $100, then that's going to be credited to me as a $100 donation. Show donor contact information to trip participants and how you want this to be able to display. Do you want to copy parents and guardians on any type of email communication for people that are under 18? Do you want notifications when someone registers for an opportunity? Most everybody wants to say yes there. And then you have donation help text. So the two different fields here, a lot of organizations will come in and they'll say they have a 2-sentence description that'll say, understand that giving a donation to this organization, even though it's notated for a specific person, is a general donation to this organization, and that refunds are not made on donations, or whatever it is that you want to say in your donation help text. And then in addition to that, there are some, every year, ServiceReef at the end of the year sends a donor impact report, and you can add some additional information in this field to populate onto that donor impact report. Then you get into small groups, and if you're using small groups, you can determine if it's enabled. Do you want simple registrations? How do you handle your curriculum, and then other settings? And we'll talk about that more in some of the group videos. Tracks, which track do you want to show on your tracks page? none, my organization, or organization plus partner. And then you get into your map settings here. So do you want to show the map in the menu up here? And then do you want to show partner points on the map? And again, that gets back to what we talked about a second ago, is if you're aggregating trips and opportunities not only from your organization, but others, then you would turn on that show partner points on our map. And then the last piece in everything that we're going through here on preferences is really to think about adding in your Google Analytics code. And if you don't have Google Analytics, then set it up. And this is as simple as dropping in a code, a couple strings of HTML. And what's really great about this is it gives you a tool to be able to monitor and see everything that's happening within your profile for ServiceReef. So we highly recommend that you set up Google Analytics, drop that code in here, and keep that as a place just to be tracking some data about how your site is getting used, where people are dropping off, where people are spending most of their time, and so on.